All right, now welcome back to the Loreverse. Today we are diving into the biggest mystery in Middle Earth right now, because the casting of Kate Winslet in The Lord of the Rings: The Hunt for Gollum has officially broken the internet. Warner Bros. Confirmed she is the film's female lead, but they are keeping her character name hidden in the vaults. All right, now why is this a secrecy, and why is this specific story a hunt, right, for a creature we already know the fate of? Suddenly this is like the most important project in the franchise, it could seem like. So what I'm here to do is I want to break down some of the lore to explain what's going on, but I want the center of this video to be, who could Kate Winslet be playing in the Hunt for Gollum movie? This is your boy Stevie Hayes. This is the Loreverse, and let's dive into this. Now, to understand why this movie matters, you have to look at the clock. In the Fellowship of the Ring movie, Gandalf leaves the Shire after Bilbo's party and returns seemingly a few weeks later. But in the books, this is a 17-year gap. So during those nearly 2 decades, the world starts to burn. Sauron is rebuilding in Mordor. The Nazgul are searching for Baggins, and Gandalf is terrified. He realizes the only way to confirm if Bilbo's ring is the One Ring is to find the previous owner, and that is Gollum. Now, Gandalf ends up recruiting Aragorn, then known as the Ranger Shire, to track Gollum through the deadliest corners of Middle Earth. And this is important because this isn't just an Aragorn adventure. If they don't find Gollum first, Sauron will. And if Sauron gets Gollum, he gets the name Shire. And this hunt is the only reason Frodo had a head start at all. So if you guys want me to sum it up again, because some of y'all be asking, this story takes place during the 17-year gap between Bilbo Baggins' birthday party and Frodo Baggins leaving the Shire. This period is briefly mentioned in the Fellowship of the Ring, but the films never really explored it. And during these years, Gandalf begins investigating the truth about the One Ring, and he eventually asks Aragorn to hunt down Gollum. And the hunt becomes a huge part of Aragorn's unseen story, which means this movie could function as an Aragorn-focused adventure. This is why Winslet's role could be gaining a lot of traction, and we could pull some characters to see, who she could be. So let's talk about the Lady of the Wood. Okay, for years, Kate Blanchett was the face of Galadriel, but as production begins in New Zealand, a massive theory is gaining steam, and it's that Kate Winslet might be playing Galadriel. And the question is, why the recast? Now, while fans love Blanchett, sources do suggest that the filmmakers wanted a fresh yet legendary presence to lead this new era. Now, there is a few things that we can think about, right? Obviously, she has a Peter Jackson connection. Winslet got her big break in Peter Jackson's Heavenly Creatures in 1994, and this will be a 30-year reunion for them. Also, like, think about the gravitas, right? Galadriel is thousands of years old. Winslet has the regal, power to step in those elven robes and bring a different, perhaps more active side to the character during the hunt. Also, rumors suggest that while Blanchett was open to a cameo, the female lead billing suggests a much larger role, one that requires a long-term commitment that may not have aligned with Blanchett's schedule. And if Winslet is indeed Galadriel, it signals that the elves are going to be a much bigger part of the hunt than we realize. Now, if she isn't an elf, she's likely Gilraen. Now, that's Aragorn's mother. Now, Aragorn was raised in Rivendell as Estelle Hope, and his mother was the one who kept his royal bloodline a secret from Sauron's spies. Now, the movie is expected to show Aragorn transition from a lonely ranger to a leader, and seeing his relationship with his mother would give the film the emotional heart that the original trilogy was famous for. And her story is really the most tragic in the Tolkien lore. She was married to Arathorn, the chieftain of the Dúnedain, but Aragorn's father was killed by orcs when Aragorn was just a child. After that, his mother brought her son to Elrond in Rivendell. There, Aragorn was raised in secret, hidden from Sauron. Now, Aragorn's mother eventually died when Aragorn was relatively young, but her final words became legendary. She said, "I gave hope to Dúnedain. I have kept no hope for myself." And the line alone shows how powerful her story could be on screen. If the film is exploring Aragorn's past, his motivations, and his destiny as king, his mother would be the perfect character to expand. And someone like Kate Winslet could absolutely bring the emotional weight needed for that role. We have also heard whispers that the film will feature a flashback to Sméagol's life before the ring. And Tolkien does mention Sméagol's grandmother, a matriarch of Store hobbits who eventually banished him. And before he became Gollum, he was Sméagol, a member of the Store hobbit community. And Tolkien briefly mentions that Sméagol had a powerful grandmother who ruled over their people. And the character is never fully explored in the books, but she was the one who banished Sméagol after his obsession with the ring became dangerous. This opens up a fascinating possible situation because the movie could explore Sméagol's past through flashbacks, and Winslet could play this grandmother figure. And if that happens, the film could show us the moment Sméagol was exiled, the moment of his transformation into Gollum, and that would add a lot of emotional depth to the hunt itself because Aragorn wouldn't just be tracking a monster, he would be tracking a tragic figure. So Kate Winslet could play this matriarch if the movie parallels Aragorn's hunt in the present with Sméagol's fall in the past. It turns a simple chase into a tragic character study, and we will see the exact moment Sméagol died and Gollum was born. Another possibility is that Winslet is playing someone entirely new. This would not be the first time a Middle Earth film created a original character. In The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, the filmmakers introduced Tauriel, played by Evangeline Lilly. Now, Tauriel was not a part of Tolkien's books, but she became a major character in the Hobbit trilogy, and The Hunt for Gollum could follow a similar approach. Winslet might be a ranger, scout, or an ally who joins Aragorn on the hunt. And this would give the film a central female protagonist while also expanding the lore of the Rangers of the North. It could also allow the story to explore parts of Middle Earth that we haven't seen before. Another interesting possibility is that Winslet could play Primula Brandybuck. Now, Primula is Frodo's mother. She's married to Drogo Baggins, and together they had Frodo, but their story ends in tragedy. Both of them died in a mysterious boating accident, and some characters in Middle Earth even suspected the death might not have been entirely accidental. If the film explores the political and mysterious events happening during those 17 years, this tragedy could be expanded. When Winslet playing Frodo's mother would allow the film to connect Aragorn's story to the origins of Frodo's journey, which can make a powerful narrative bridge. Now, which theory makes the most sense? All right, let's narrow it down. I think that Aragorn's mother fits the focus. I think Sméagol's grandmother fits the focus. I think an original character fits the female lead, and I think that Primula could connect to Frodo's story. But out of all of these options, I think Aragorn's mom seems the most likely because the hunt for Gollum is really Aragorn's story, and exploring the woman who raised the future king of Gondor would give the film emotional depth, and it will also help new audiences understand Aragorn's legacy. Now, the director Andy Serkis has stated that this film is a bridge between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. It explains how Gollum got to Mordor, which he was captured and tortured by Sauron. It shows the first time Aragorn and Gandalf work together. It also reveals the dead marshes and the borders of Mirkwood in ways we've never seen. So without the hunt for Gollum, the fellowship never happens. Aragorn never meets Frodo and the prancing pony, and the entire victory over Sauron hinges on this one desperate search in the dark. So whether Kate Winslet is playing a legendary elf, a tragic mom, or a original ranger, her presence confirms one thing: the hunt for Gollum is going to be epic. The filmmakers aren't just trying to fill, a gap in the timeline. They're trying to show us the unseen war that happened while Frodo was still growing up in the Shire. And the shadow is lengthening, the hunt is on, and the fate of the ring is hanging by a thread. So Kate, she could be playing several characters. I mean, she could be playing, several characters, but the most compelling to me is Aragorn's mom. So that's kind of where I think. And I think this could become like an origin story for Aragorn. And that to me would make this film one of the most important additions to the Lord of the Rings timeline. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Love to hear who you guys think Kate Winslet is playing. Please like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, and peace out.